Today's topic is two-step equations. Before we get started, let's think back to one-steps and the golden rule. Remember, that's whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. It's whatever you do to one side, do to the other. And we mean the different sides of the equal sign. The goal of solving equations: get the variable, get the letter by itself. To solve these two-step equations, you want to move the constant, that's the number that's not with the letter, away from the side with the variable. You'll most often do that by adding or subtracting. Second step, use inverse operations to solve for the variable. I'm going to give you a couple of equations and we'll circle or highlight the first step. Number 1, 4x minus 9 equals 21. So if you look at the equation, on the left side is where we have the variable. That's where we have x, 4 times x. So we want to get rid of this negative 9, very first thing. So you would add 9 to both sides. Let's look at another one. This time we have 4 minus 5r equals 36. This time we want to move that 4 that's on the same side as that negative 5 times r. We would get rid of that positive 4 by subtracting 4 on both sides of the equal sign. Alright, so our first example, we have 3x plus 1 equals 7. So on the left side of the equals where we have our variable, the x. So we want to start by getting rid of that constant. It's positive 1, so we'll subtract 1 from both sides. That cancels out. Bring down 3x. We have 3x equals 6. Now we have a one-step equation. Cancel out 3 times x by dividing both sides by 3. You get x equals 2. You can check that by plugging it back in. 3 times 2 plus 1 should be equal to 7. Order of operations would do the multiplication first. 6 plus 1 equals 7. 7 is equal to 7, so we got it right. Alright, second example, we have 5 minus 2n equals negative 1. So we're going to start on the left side, get rid of that positive 5. So we'll subtract 5 from both sides. Bring down negative 2 times n. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 2. You get n equals 3. You can check it. So that's 5 minus 6 equals negative 1. Both sides are in balance, so we got it right. Alright, number 3. This time the variable m is on the right side, so we'll start over there. We'll get rid of positive 10 by subtracting 10 from both sides. Negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14 equals 2 times n. Divide both sides by 2. Negative 7 is equal to m. Again, you could check it by plugging it back in. That's negative 14 plus 10. You do get negative 4. Both sides are equal. In this example, our coefficient is a fraction, but this is the same concept. Get rid of negative 8. Because w is on the left side, we're going to get rid of the negative 8, so we'll add 8 to both sides. Bring down the 1/4 w. That's equal to 24. 16 plus 8 is equal to 24. So we'll flip that fraction over. We get w is equal to I need 4 times 4, which is 96 over 1, or just 96. And again, you could check that by plugging that in for W and seeing what you get. So in this example, J is on the left side. We do have a fraction as a coefficient again, so we'll have to flip that in just a second. Let's get rid of negative 7 by adding 7 on both sides. Bring down 2/3 times J equals 10. So we'll flip the fraction, 2 over 3, and multiply by 3 over 2. That's inverse property. We get J is equal to 30 over 2, which simplifies to 15. So this example is a little bit different. In all the other examples we have been adding or subtracting the constant the very first step. This time we have r minus 3 divided by 3 is equal to 5. I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can approach this problem. We'll cancel out the division first of all in this example, so that is different than the adding or subtracting. We're multiplying this time to cancel out the divided by 3. So we get r minus 3 is equal to 15. Add 3 to both sides, you get r is equal to 18. If you check that, 18 minus 3 gives you 15. 15 over 3 does equal 5, so that's right. Another way in the past, I'll put this on the left side, I've had students in the past solve it kind of like a proportion. So they would cross multiply, 3 times 5 is 15. Any number times 1, that's identity property, gives you that number. So r minus 3 equals 15. Add 3 to both sides, you get r is equal to 18. So both ways work.